Well, in 2008, you had a big break, I guess, for when you got signed onto Randy's label, Delta Groove,
Delta Groove
or Eclecto Groove. What happened? How did you get that big break?
Well, you know, I sent my CDs off. Ironically, I started sending CDs off like in the '90s to Alligator, to Blind Pig, to Ruth, to Thomas Ruth, and I was young then, and you know, I just wasn't the right time.
Right.
And I got pretty bad on drugs and alcohol, and kind of music went to the side. When I got cleaned up again, and I started like, I'm going to start making music again. And I started making some records. I made 2 or 3 records on my own. And the last one I made was called Superman, in 2006.
Yeah.
And I started sending it out. And I always made a record with, I'm making this record to try to get a record deal.
Okay.
Like I'm making it so I can send it off and try to get somebody to let me make records.
Right.
So I started sending it out. And, you know, that was a new label. Delta Groove was pretty new.
Right.
And I met a man named David Hughes, who's made movies and plays guitar. And he saw me at a casino and he heard me play. And I gave him the record and he sent it to Randy.
Wow.
He said, my friend's got a new label and they're looking for a little something different out of the blues. Eclectic.
Eclecto Groove.
But the miracle to me is I sent the record to Randy. It got to the label, and then I pestered him. I emailed him. You know, whatever. You know, even with a small independent label.
Yeah.
When he called me on a Sunday night and said, I just listened to your record and I'm going to give you a record deal. It was just like that. And I had probably talked to this guy for 9 months.
Yeah.
Never heard from him again.
Right.
Every now and then, and I would just bombard him. I would bombard these people.
Yeah.
With YouTube videos, email, whatever. And he just called out of the blue, and I said, well, what happened?
What was the secret?
You know? But he was going on a trip somewhere with his girlfriend, and they grabbed 4 or 5 CDs off the desk.
Wow.
And they went and took a ride, and mine was in there, and he heard this song today, and he was it was the right time in his life to hear this song.
Yeah.
And they were moved by the song, and that was it. And the first time I went to that label, and again, this is an independent, this is not, you know, Capitol Records.
Oh, I know.
But they had rooms of CDs everywhere, boxes. People send them 20, 30, 50 CDs a day.
Yeah.
And they had records everywhere, and I thought it's amazing to just be in the little stack of 5 or 6
that he picked that day.
He picked that day.
Right.
It's unbelievable. There's just not enough record deals in the world for all the people that deserve a record.
Yeah.
So to me, that's the responsibility, to get an opportunity like that.
That's right. And then once you get it, you make people realize you're going to work and show that you deserved it.
I think if you don't, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. And so since that time, what did you have? 3 records with Randy?
Did 3 records with Randy. I did 3 studio albums. I did a live album, and signed with Ruth.
Now you're with
Royal
Ruth.
Southern Brotherhood record.
Royal Southern Brotherhood,
I produced the Girls with Guitars record, the Samantha Fish record.
Yeah.
I mean, everything that I would have dreamed of doing is all taken off.
Unbelievable.
Immediately.
Right. And what's the new record? We have a Mike Zito's brand new record here called.
This is my first Roof release. Gone to Texas.
Gone to Texas. So I haven't heard it yet. I just got my first copy today. What's the difference in this record, or how is this record going to stand up to the other Mike Zito records? What can fans?
I think the fans will really. If you're a fan of Mike Zito, to me this is everything that you would like about Mike Zito.
Yeah.
For one thing, I produced the record myself. It's the first time I produced, other than my old independent records.
Right. And you talk about producing. You've worked with some amazing producers on your.
Right?
You've worked with David Z, Tony Brunegal, Anders Osborne. Wow.
Yeah, I made 4 records with David Z, and I learned a lot from all 3 of those guys. I mean, I knew right away, like, I like making records.
Yeah.
And what's funny is, I found out I'm good at making records.
That's cool.
Because all the way back to high school, I was renting like 4-track recorders and recording my own songs and music and editing them and mixing them and making it. For over 25 years, I've been doing that.
Yeah.
I did that before I could learn to even play the guitar good. I was making my own songs.
Right. Wow.
So looking back, I think, well, I've always been interested in that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I produced this record, and I took everything I learned from those guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
And definitely put it to use. But I was able to bring in my own band. You know, a lot of times producers want to bring in their own musicians, and I understand why.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this time I was able to bring in my band, and some of the songs, if they're a little longer, because I want the band to be able to play a little bit or whatever. Okay. We did it. We let them play. Yeah. Yeah. And then just the whole thing, you know, I felt like I was comfortable to come in and produce this record, and I knew the story I wanted to tell. I knew the band I wanted. I knew the sound I wanted. And that's what it is. I'm very happy with it.
Yeah, that's cool, because sometimes I do ask a person, if a CD is supposed to tell a story, what's the story that the CD tells, that this CD would tell?
To me, it should be, I mean, obviously, every record can't be this epic story. Yeah. You know? But it should have some kind of a story. The album should have a story.
A cohesive
in the
thread.
Songs, should be chapters in the book. But this was a particular real story that I wanted to finish telling. And I started to tell it, you know, on Greyhound. Yeah. And that was really this my own story of kind of running away. And I, you know, I ran away on the Greyhound bus, you know, high on drugs and lost. But I really wound up in Texas and got my life together. And got clean and sober.
That journey there, sure.
Got my family back, and really everything's taken off.
Right.
So this was I can't tell this story again, this is it. Yeah, yeah. And I wanted to finish that story, because Greyhound is a story you get lost. Yeah. You know, but this is the kind of finding yourself.
Is the coming home again.
And really the title comes from Texas history. Guys would run away to Texas. Yeah. And they would get their lives together. And I thought that was called Gone to Texas.
That's how they they phrased it.
Yeah, he's gone to Texas. He ran away. Yeah, yeah. It was like a bad thing. Right, right. But a lot of these guys really did well. Yeah. And end up going back and getting their kids. Yeah. Dying at the Alamo. But I was reading Texas history. I was like, wow, that's great. So I wrote the song. Cool. And I thought, all right, I'm gonna finish the story.
Yeah. How now that you're starting the tour with these new songs, how are these songs playing out live? Are they taking on a different life?
Just starting to. We're just starting to play. Now the Brotherhood just started to play the Gone to Texas song. And I love playing. Oh, yeah. It's really emotional.
Oh, cool.
It's really rocking. Right. And I'm excited for this band, The Wheel, because like I said, I brought my band in. So this is Mike Zito and The Wheel.
Yeah, yeah. Not Mike Zito and Randy's all-star bands that he could put together for you.
Yeah, which is great.
Oh, yeah.
I learned so much from these guys. And I wouldn't, not that I would never do that again. I would definitely go back and make a record again with any of those producers or another producer. Yeah. Because when you get to a point where it's like, all right, we need something different. You need something new. You need to shake it up. We need to bring in these different musicians that don't know you. Yeah. They're not going to follow you. Yeah. And a new producer that has a different way of looking at things. And so it really broadens your perspective. Yeah. You know? Yeah. So I was good. I did 3 records like that.
Right,
so
right.
It was time.
That's nice.
Right, now I'll do my record.
Yeah, that's very nice. Isn't that funny that it's taken you this long? You know, it's like that journey that you go on, like you said before. It's just, you know, another rung on the ladder, whatever. Could you have done this 15 years ago in 1998? You know?
No, not at all.
No, no. And it was something that you probably wanted desperately.
Absolutely.
But it just, the world has a way of saying, hold on, you know.
There's much to be learned.
Yeah, yeah. You know? You're still young in the music, so to speak. How has your sound evolved?
It's definitely,
Do you see it as evolving?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that's the confidence that I kind of come back to after this past maybe 10 years of really, you know, first of all, when you recover from drugs and alcohol, and you start to figure out who you are. Yeah. Like you never really had an identity before.
That's right.
Or you had pieces of things, you know? Yeah. And so to me, the musical part of my personality is developed just as my personality is developed. Right. Getting to know myself, what I like, what I don't like, you know? When I joined with Randy, I said, well, what did you like? Like, you know, I asked him why. You know? He said, I like your songs. And I was like, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought I was a guitar player.
Yeah.
And I am a guitar player.
Right.
But I was always guitar.
Yeah.
But somewhere I went and made this record on my own, and I put songs on there.
Yeah, right.
Like, but all the time in my head, I'm thinking it's guitar, guitar.
Yeah. That's what's going to turn Bruce Iglauer around, my guitar.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And there, he was like, "Well, you play guitar fine." He said, "But the songs and you got a great voice. I really like your singing." And I was like, "What? Never would have ever guessed these things."
Yeah.
And so working with Tony Bronigal, David Z, Anders, like they were like, "You have a good voice.
Yeah.
These are good songs." These are much stronger attributes than just your guitar.
Right.
So I started to learn and listen because I'm open, open-minded and willing.
Yeah.
So I started to, I've never even tried to write songs. They just came easy.
Yeah.
So I started focusing on songwriting, started focusing on singing, and that's when sound started to become a part of things. A sound, developing a sound as the guitar accompanying my voice. Accompanying the song. Even the sound of the guitar being shrill and harsh and and starting to make it sound good. How do I make it sound good? That's what started to happen these past 10 years.
That's cool.
And that's where I think this album and the band is it's developed a sound.
And it's evolving to now you're finding that zone, I would imagine, pretty quickly when you start to perform, of voice, guitar, everything sort of coming together in that sweet spot in time.
It's really starting to hit. Where it gives you a big boost of confidence. Where like I can really perform now. And perform the words and the emotion in the music.
Right.
You know? Which brings that's something Anders had told me. You know, he told me before he ever produced my record. He was like, every word needs to count. Because you have to sing this every night.
Right.
And you have to be able to get behind what you're singing. Even if the song is fun or silly or whatever, you need to mean this.
Right.
This can't just be some crap you wrote down.
Right.
You'll just run through it. Because you'll get to that part every night in the show and you won't believe what you're singing.
And the audience will know it.
And they will absolutely know it. You know? It's the difference between good, better, and best.
Right.
And when you see Bruce Springsteen, or when you see Jimi Hendrix, or when you see Buddy Guy, when
John Hyatt, whatever.
When you see the best.
Right.
That's the difference between good, better, and best. They mean every note, every thing that's coming out of them is for a reason. Right.
You know? And it's working when you get that electric current back from the audience. It's like
people really do know. I think they don't know sometimes in other ways, but when it's real, they know. Wow. Sometimes, and I'm not even going to ask this, but sometimes I'll say to someone like yourself, well, what do you work harder at? Singing, guitar, or songwriting? You've got this Mike Zito cottage industry, and you're working on everything to make it the best. That's very cool. Working on everything to make, I'm trying to make it the best.
That's very cool.
I realize that maybe the best is never possible, right? But I think if you're going to be a real artist and a real human being, you should be striving for the best.
Right. And I said to you, how has your sound evolved? And you gave me a very nice answer, but the real artist also says it's evolved to today. But, but there's something up there.
I'm just at the beginning. I just finally got my foot in the door. And it's gonna, I got a lot more work.
That's right.
Like it's just beginning to get there. Now the big struggle is ahead.
That's right. Yeah. And I know you're going to show the world that you deserve everything that you're getting. So
well, thank you. I'm going to try.
Good. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I'm Art Tipaldi, editor of Blues Music Magazine, and we've been chatting with Mike Zito, and enjoy the show.